Let's play a game, ladies and gentlemen. I'm your host, InaneDragon, and today we're going to run another round of Poe No Poe. Has it really been nearly 4 months since my last one of these? Am I losing my touch? Trying to be less asinine? Nah, can't be the case. If you saw the last episode, you know how it goes. I'm going to read a little bit of something I found, and you vote whether you think it was written by a Poe or a true believer. We call it Poe No Poe. Bonus points if your vote includes a reason why you think the way you do. But don't just go Googling it up. Sadly, the last episode's quotation is not from a Poe. It's from a typical anti-vaxxer bullshit website where they spread lies and misinformation to scare you into making bad decisions. Please don't listen to bullshit. Please, don't make bad decisions. Get your kids vaccinated, bitches. Link in the description to last episode's source. On to tonight's article. What we have on the table is the abstract for a document written as a submission for peer-reviewed publication. When we return in episode 6, I will not only tell you who wrote it and whether or not it's a hoax, I will also tell you if and when our article was published. There are many natural scientists, and especially physicists, who continue to reject the notion that the disciplines concerned with social and cultural criticism can have anything to contribute, except perhaps peripherally, to their research. Still less are they receptive to the idea that the very foundations of their worldview must be revised or rebuilt in the light of such criticism. Rather, they cling to the dogma imposed by the long post-Enlightenment hegemony over the Western intellectual outlook, which can be summarized briefly as follows: that there exists an external world whose properties are independent of any individual human being and indeed of humanity as a whole. That these properties are encoded in external physical laws and that human beings can obtain reliable, albeit imperfect and tentative, knowledge of these laws by hewing to the objective procedures and epistemological strictures prescribed by the so-called scientific method. But deep conceptual shifts within 20th century science have undermined this Cartesian Newtonian metaphysics. Revisionist studies in the history and philosophy of science have cast further doubt upon its reliability, and most recently, feminist and post-structuralist critiques have demystified the substantive content of mainstream Western scientific practice, revealing the ideology of domination concealed behind the facade of objectivity. It has thus become increasingly apparent that physical reality, no less than social reality, is at bottom a social and linguistic construct that scientific knowledge, far from being objective, reflects and encodes the dominant ideologies and power relations of the culture that produced it, that the truth claims of science are inherently theory-laden and self-referential, and consequently that the discourse of the scientific community, for all its undeniable value, cannot assert a privileged epistemological status with respect to counter-hegemonic narratives emanating from dissident or marginalized communities. These themes can be traced, despite some differences of emphasis, in Aronowitz's analysis of the cultural fabric that produced quantum mechanics, in Ross's discussion of the oppositional discourses in post-quantum physics, in Irrigay's and Hale's exegesis of gender encoding in fluid mechanics, oh my, and in Harding's comprehensive critique of the gender ideology underlying the natural sciences in general and physics in particular. Here, my aim is to carry these deep analyses one step farther by taking account of recent developments in quantum gravity, the emerging branch of physics in which Heisenberg's quantum mechanics and Einstein's general relativity are at once synthesized and superseded. In quantum gravity, we shall see the space-time manifold ceases to exist as an objective physical reality. Geometry becomes relational and contextual, and the foundational conceptual categories of prior science, among them existence itself, become problematized and relativized. This conceptual revolution, I will argue, has profound implications for the content of a future postmodern and liberatory science. So I leave you, my friends, with the question, to Poe or not to Poe? Let me know in the comments below. Remember, don't cheat by Googling up key lines, and if you already know what this is from, shut up, you ruin it for everyone else. That wouldn't be fun. If you want to know the answers, subscribe so that you can tune in next time. Same inane time, same inane channel. Who the hell am I kidding? My uploads are erratic as fuck. Thank you all and have a good night.